Ventura Center for Spiritual Living, and happy Valentine's Day. It's great to see you here, or well, not see you here. Know that you're on Zoom, or no, it's not Zoom. It's live stream. Okay, it's going to be that kind of a day. Anyway, it's wonderful to be here with all of you, and happy Valentine's Day. I'm going to turn it over to Lonnie.
Good morning. Be love, share love, serve love. Doesn't that sort of sound like a candy conversation heart?
Oh, yes.
Perfect day for it. So, oh my gosh, great day, a day of love. Our beautiful Doreen to pray us in, Becca and Chris, oh my gosh, and Bonnie, of course. We're going to have a lot of fun today. And our beloved Hugh, how could I forget? See, it's one of those days.
It's one of those days, yeah.
Welcome, settle in, and we're just so glad you joined us.
Thank you. All right, so Bill, our youth and family person, is with the Boy Scouts today. So we're just going to welcome the child in each of us, and I'll invite you just to place your hands over your heart and see if you can remember when the stage was crowded with children before we shut down in March. And let's just visualize all of those beautiful children, and please repeat after me. We love you. We bless you. We believe in you. You are the face of God. And so it is. Thank you. All right, now I'll turn it over to our practitioner, Doreen.
I told everybody that's here that it's been quite a while since I've done this, so, it feels really good to be here. And so the practitioners that are here are already standing, and the practitioners that are at home and our ministers, if you can just hold this up in prayer along with everybody else. And close your eyes. And as we close our eyes, we remember that there really is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is so loving and so caring and so filled with so much joy and celebration. And so I know that that is the very perfect expression of each and every one of us that has said yes to service today, that has said yes to just celebrating the love of Valentine's Day and all the good feeling that comes along with that. And so I know that today's service, just as Lonnie said, is magical, that our music, our beloved Reverend Bonnie, our reading, and just settling into this sacred day of love, that everything about this service is absolutely perfect. And so with a grateful heart, I just say thank you, God, for all that's to come and all that we'll experience. And I release this word into the power of the law, and so it is.
And let's breathe deeply and continue to stay in that beautiful place as we welcome our reader, Hugh, and listen to the words of the sacred reading.
The Way Wings Should, a poem by Rumi. What will our children do in the morning? Will they wake with their hearts wanting to play the way wings should? Will they have dreamed the needed flights and gathered the strength from the planets that all men and women need to balance the wonderful charms of the earth, so that her power and beauty does not make us forget our own? I know all about the ways of the heart, how it wants to be alive. Love so needs to love that it will endure almost anything, even abuse, just to flicker for a moment. But the sky's mouth is kind. Its song will never hurt you, for I sing those words. What will our children do in the morning? If they do not see us, fly.
And we move into the memory of recognizing and remembering that love so needs to love, and that we are the vessels of love, right here and right now, always. And so we turn our attention to love as we breathe in deeply and exhale opening our eyes in love and in service to what is, as it is, and so it is. Thank you, Becca. Thank you, Becca. Thank you, Chris. Beautiful. I kind of have to say the alphabet or something while she's singing that because I get all verklempt, you know. And then I have to speak and be coherent. So let's see if the alphabet worked, right? Okay, so some of you know that I'm teaching a class. There's a lot of folks in the church that are participating in this class called Devotion. It's about devotional practice. And first night, we started on Thursday, and we were going to talk about devotion. And I kind of anticipated that we would start with this beautiful, beautiful dance with devotion, with the divine, centering with the beloved. And by the end of the class, we would all walk on water. Oddly, as I was meditating on the class, I decided to go to the dark side of devotion first. Maybe it's the TV shows I watch, I don't know. But it seems to me that there is a dark side to devotion. And that is that we as humans, and this is part of our divinity, by the way, our humanity and our divinity are inexplicably intertwined, but that we as humans sometimes tend to devote ourselves to things that don't serve us well. Perhaps some of you are familiar with some of those devotions. Things that we are seeking that will give us instant gratification versus lasting happiness. Anyone? Now, if you'd like to, if you're on Facebook, if you'd like to write down some of your secret displaced devotions in the chat, I would love to read them later on to help me feel better about myself, or feel that sense of community that we're all in this together. We're all looking at our displaced devotions together. I see them in general when I look at my own life and when I look at what others tell me about their devotions that they seem to displace or misplace, that there are several categories. One displaced devotion is our devotion to substances. I remember Gino Walker standing up here one Sunday and saying that we are more devoted to getting our first cup of coffee in the morning than we are to spiritual practice. Anybody? Yeah, and sometimes that turns into a list, right? It's, well, I have to get my coffee, I have to do something with the dogs, I have to feed the dogs, I have to feed the cat, I have to feed the, well, never mind, the list in my house is long. Oh, I better check my emails before I meditate, you know? And then before you know it, a lot of the morning has gone away. And so has the meditation. It has floated off into the native nothingness from where it came. So it's that kind of devotion to, let's call those substances and activities. You know, the substance being coffee. For some of us, it's sugar. For some of us, it's substances that are illegal. It's just things that we want that think will give us instant gratification, or that will give us instant gratification, but don't really give us lasting happiness. So there's substances, behaviors, and then the third one is thoughts. We are devoted to thoughts. And we don't always know that we're doing this because we don't know that our thoughts are optional. But sometimes, if the voice of devotion or displaced devotion is speaking in our heads, it says things like, if I just worry about this long enough, I can fix it, right? Or if I just criticize this person, either to their face or in my maybe that person will change. Or if I flagellate myself enough and tell me how unworthy I am, then maybe someday I'll be worthy. Those are extreme displaced devotions that may give us the instant gratification of thinking that we're doing something to fix ourselves or to fix another, but they don't really work. They're not really effective in the long run. Now, after the class, as I was meditating on the general categories of displaced devotion, I was thinking that they actually fit into two larger categories. And I believe that displaced devotions fit into the larger categories of our devotion to fear and our devotion to limitation. Have you ever noticed how we will argue for the sake of fear and limitation? It often has to do when we're planning for the future, when we're thinking about the future and we're saying, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? When the truth is that we don't know what's going to happen. And the deeper truth is that God has the future. And that whatever happens, God has got it. And whatever happens can be an opportunity for despair or transformation. And I choose transformation in this moment. I choose transformation for me, and I choose it for all of you if you want it, but you have to choose it too. So we look at our devotion to fear and limitation and see where we might be able to embrace that, see it, reveal it, and then transform it into something greater. So if you would, take a moment. See if there is a place where you're devoted to something that will give you instant gratification versus long-term happiness. See if there's a place where you are obsessed with fear or self-criticism or limitation. See if there's a place where you think that there's no possible solution, that nothing can change. And recognize, embrace that as a displaced devotion towards fear and limitation that hopefully today we will replace with something greater. Through our community, through our shared time together, through words, through music, through the whole experience, and most certainly through life itself. Life gives us so many opportunities to practice. So I always come back to this, but I think that one of the ways to address just about everything, including displaced devotion, is to look at our true nature. Our true nature is the opposite of fear and limitation. Our true nature is love and infinite possibilities. This is the essence of which we are made. I was listening to a couple of recordings, YouTubes, by Peter Russell, who's a non-dual teacher. And he talks about non-duality, and that the word non-dual means, it's advaita, means not two. And he was saying that some people think that the world of form is an illusion, but his take on it is that it is not an illusion, it is just the essence expressing in many different ways. He says he prefers the word multiplicity or diversity to non-duality. And he told a story from the Upanishads. And he said that in the story, this man's son, it was time for him to go off to school to learn wisdom and to learn about medicinal herbs and the astrology and all kinds of wise and wonderful things. And the son came back from school after some time, and the father asked him, "What did you learn?" And he told him all of this stuff that he learned. And then the father asked him, "Well, that's great, but did you learn about the thing that cannot be seen or heard or felt or known, but without which nothing can be seen or felt or heard or known? The thing that is the source of everything that we can see, feel, hear, or known. Did you learn about that? That thing that can't be seen, heard, felt, or known?" And I picture the son rifling through his notes saying, nope, didn't learn about that. So the father, they were in the garden, and the father said to him, "Look at these clay pots," and there's clay pots around. And he says, "They're different shapes and they're different sizes. This one over here is cracked, this one over here is broken. So they're all different, they're all diverse, but the essence of the pots are the same. They are all clay. And the clay doesn't change based on what's in the pot. And the clay does not change based on the shape or the size of the pot. And the clay does not change whether or not the pot is broken. The shards are still clay." And he said, that is what we are. There is this essence that pervades all creation, all beingness, and that essence is like the clay. Although many people feel like the essence that pervades all of us is more like a verb, it is more like an energy. It is love, loving itself. It is love becoming love. It is infinite love becoming love. And so that was the teaching of that story from the Upanishads. And I ask that we embody that today and just really remember on this day of love, this day of devotion to love and love's devotion to us, that we recognize that we are, at our core, no matter what we've done, no matter what we look like, no matter how we live, no matter what habits we have, no matter how we've displaced our devotion, whether it's through habit or substance or thoughts, that at our core, at our essence, everything is love becoming love, and we are too. We are that. You are love becoming love. If you would, even if you're at home, place your hands over your heart and say, "I am love becoming love. My essence is infinite love." Okay, good. Now the next thing to know is to really believe it. And we believe that through practice. And what that means is that in our daily lives, as we go about our lives, we act as if love becoming love would act. We act as if infinite possibilities filled our consciousness at every moment. Isn't that a great thought? What if we did that? Would that be so exciting? Would anything change? I think it would be wonderful. Don't you? Say yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Phew. I feel better now. Okay. So I have an extreme example of somebody who did this in a radical way. This guy is actually a little bit controversial, but I really enjoyed studying him. And that is Daryl Davis. Daryl Davis is primarily a musician. He started out as a musician. And he's a black man who goes and visits people in the Ku Klux Klan and actually attends Klan meetings. And I'll tell you how he got to that place in his life through deciding to say no to hatred and no to limitation. Say no to fear, say no to limitation, and say yes to true nature and infinite possibilities. Did I say Daryl Douglas? It's Daryl Davis. Daryl Davis is his name. Anyway, so Daryl was, he lived all over the world because his father was in the Foreign Service. And he said that because of where he lived, he did not really recognize that there was a racial divide. He went to school with people that looked differently than he did, many people of many different races that looked differently than he did, and he said that it just didn't occur to him. His first encounter, though, with racism was when he was living in a small town, I don't remember where it was, and he joined the Boy Scouts, and he was the only black kid in the Boy Scouts. And they gave him the honor of carrying the American flag in the Boy Scout parade. And while he was walking down the street, it was going great, and then all of a sudden, this group of people started throwing things at him. And he didn't realize it was about him. He thought people just hated the Boy Scouts. But then, when his den mother and the Boy Scout leaders and the other Boy Scouts came and formed a shield around him, he said, this must be about me somehow. And he went home and he told his parents, and his parents told him about racism, which had never occurred to him. And he said, which I think is so kind of poignant, he said, "How can they hate me if they don't even know me?" And so he took that mantra into his life. He became a fabulous musician, fabulous jazz, country, all kinds of styles. He's played for a lot of great artists. And he said that one night he was playing in the South in a bar that was completely white, and there was somebody that was clearly not a fan of the African American people. I don't know whether there was some type of Klan insignia on him or whatever, but he came up to Daryl Davis afterwards and he said, "You know, dude, I got to tell you, you play that piano like nobody else. I mean, it's like you're channeling Jerry Lee Lewis. You've managed to embody the style of Jerry Lee Lewis." And Daryl Davis said, "You know what? I got to tell you, guess where Jerry Lee Lewis got that style from?" Because he was embodying the style of many black musicians prior to him. But anyway, this guy was so impressed with his playing that he invited him over to his table, and he said, "This is the first time I've sat down and had a drink with a black man." And so they had a drink together, and they talked about difficult subjects. And then after that, Daryl Davis decided that he was going to make it a personal mission to allow people in the KKK to get to know him. And so he started making inquiries as to who would speak with him. Many people wouldn't, but there were several that would. I think in the TED Talk that I watched of his, he talked about the first time he met with a high, I don't know, wizard or something of the KKK, and they met in a hotel room, and the guy had brought his bodyguard, and Daryl Davis had brought his secretary or someone to film, and they were both feeling guarded. You know, they were both a little bit afraid of each other before they sat down in this hotel to talk, but they were talking, and it started going well, and it was going well, and then all of a sudden there was this noise, and somebody they both, all of them, everybody in the room kind of froze and said, "What was that noise? Someone's going to hurt me." And then the noise opened again, and everybody leapt to their feet, ready to fight, ready to take each other out. And then the secretary said, wait, it was just the ice maker. It was the ice maker." You know, and so it goes to show you how we are so committed to fear that an ice maker can be based on history and experience, that an ice maker can cause us to fight. And so we look for the things like that in our lives, and you know, some of the things that these people, I was watching some of the interviews that he said that he had with the Klan members, and I was just cringing, you know, just cringing at some of the things that they were saying, but he was just taking it in, and you know, it's really, really hard. It's such a difficult skill, because I know that sometimes being silent and not arguing feels like you're condoning it. But the thing is that he didn't argue, he just expressed a different point of view in a very respectful and kind way. And ultimately, he started becoming friends with these people that were in the KKK, and eventually he led over 200 of them to take off their robes and do something else, to step away from that lifestyle. He has a collection of robes that members have given to him in gratitude for freeing them from that type of bondage. Now, I said that he's controversial because there are people that think that he's not doing enough. There are people that despise him for going and speaking to people that hate black people. And, you know, I don't have the answer for that. My only answer is that everybody has their own way of creating peace. And so, yes, peaceful protesting and changing legislation and understanding systemic racism and studying and learning more about black history and talking to Klan members, all of that is a piece of the puzzle. But I just am bringing him up today because he's such a great example of someone that did not place his devotion on fear and limitation, but rather placed his devotion in greater love, greater peace, greater understanding, greater respect, mutual, all of those things mutual, and greater possibilities. It would not have occurred to me to say, you know what, I think I might be able to make friends with these folks. I might be able to make friends with these folks and maybe change a few hearts and maybe help them gain understanding as to the truth that we really are all the same underneath the color of our skin, underneath all of the labels that we put upon each other to separate us. So I love that story again because it's a story about transcending limitation, transcending the perception and the devotion to limitation and moving into infinite possibilities. And the thing is that, we don't all have to be Daryl Davis. We can all do it. We can all transcend limitation. We can all embrace and transform our devotion to limitation, our devotion to fear, into infinite possibilities and into love, just where we are. I have an example from a church member here, and I didn't ask her permission to tell this story, but I'm going to tell it, and he or she may know, may know who, okay, it's a she. I can't tell the story by going he or she all the time. He or she, no, she may know who she is, but, it had to do with my obsession with time. I don't particularly struggle with scarcity of money, but scarcity of time, man, I never feel like there's enough time. Anybody? This time just like gets away. And so I was projecting my scarcity of time onto this person who was about to assume a big role as a volunteer. And I said to her, I know how important your time, your downtime is to you, and yet you're willing to take on this role. Are you sure you want to do this? And she said, yeah, my free time is really important, but I love the church more. And that just touched me. I love the church more than I love my free time. And, it seems like such a simple thing. It was a passing comment. I don't even know if this person remembers that she said it, but I think about that a lot. I think about that a lot when I'm going through my life and I'm doing something that I kind of know that is going to be, maybe instant gratification and not lasting happiness. And I say, okay, what do you love more? Do you love this instant gratification? I said Instagram, talking of instant gratification, social media, right? Do you love this instant gratification? Or do you love this freedom and this feeling better about your life and your body and the openness that pure devotion to something right and high and noble can give you? Which do you love more? Sometimes I'm like, I don't care about that over there. I'm going here with the instant gratification. But so often when I stop and when I think and when I really ask myself that question, I choose the higher path. And choosing the higher path over and over again becomes like a muscle. It becomes like a muscle that we work. And at some point, I won't say that it ever becomes completely automatic, but it becomes more automatic, and it becomes a habit of well-placed devotion versus displaced devotion. When I teach the third force, I won't explain it right now, but when I teach the third force, I use this method to get us to kind of stop what we're doing and look at what we're doing so that we can make a different choice, so that we can embrace and transform what is going on. And the first method is to pause. You know how I said, let's say I'm about to eat something that I know is not going to agree with me, but it tastes really good. I got some in my office right now. It's chocolate. Just to pause and ask that question, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to do this? What are the lasting consequences of this? Be mindful for lying. I'm just going to do it this one time. Lie. So to pause. And then R, respect. Respect means to respeculate, look a second time. So yes, I see the instant gratification that this will bring me, but let me look at this again and see how not doing it might lead me to a better way of being in the world, a way that serves my highest self. So P, pause, R, respect, respeculate, look again. A is appreciate. Appreciate what's over there. Imagine the possibilities. Imagine the infinite possibilities that giving no to something that doesn't serve you gives you. It's amazing. If you've ever done it, if you've ever said no to something that doesn't serve you, anybody? If you've ever said no, then to move into this place of greater possibilities, start to appreciate what that might look like. And then Y is yearn. Yearn for that new way of being in the world. Yearn for that freedom. Yearn for that limitlessness. Because what happens is if we practice limitlessness, if we practice limitless love, moving from here to there, moving from instant gratification to limitless love, it starts to feel really good. And then this becomes the new devotion. The new devotion, love's devotion, love's devotion. When we devote ourselves to love, we realize that love has already devoted itself to us. You all going to do that? It's funny, in an empty house I hear, uh-huh. So it's P-R-A-Y, it spells pray, right? And that's another way to do it, cut to the chase, just pray. P for pause, R for respect or respeculate, look a second time. A, appreciate the good that's about to come forth through your wise and loving choices. And Y, yearn for that infinite possibility, pray. Another thing to kind of shorten this up is to just think about, what do I really want? What do I really want for me? What do I really want for this life essence that is flowing through my clay pot known as my body? What do I really want for me? What do I really want to express in this world? Do I want to lie in my deathbed and say, yeah, I managed to eat 12,000 chocolate chip cookies? Or do I want to say, you know, here I am, I served well, I loved myself, I loved others, I practiced, I honored my flaws, I celebrated my flaws and transformed them into strengths, I helped others. I think I said that one already. But just to be able to know that just saying no by asking the question, what do I really want for me, is so powerful. And then to add onto that is to ask ourselves also, what do I want for me and for thee? Meaning God, love, the bigger picture, that thing that it said in the Upanishads, that is not separate from us, but it's that thing that we cannot know, that we cannot see, that we cannot hear, that we cannot taste, that we cannot smell, but we sensate all of the effects of it. So what do I want for thee, Spirit, divine beloved? Show me how I am to serve thee in this life. And also, what do I want for thee? What do I want for my brethren here on the planet Earth? What type of values do I want to uphold to inspire others and to bring others to their knees so that they too may be inspired and lifted up into the holiness, the Holy Spirit, the wholeness of spirit that is available for all of us. When we do that, what do I want for me and for thee? Then we truly are practicing love's devotion. Let's do that now, and let us pray. So I turn within and just trust that fullness and that divine nature that is the essence of all of us. It is the energy of love. It is pure awareness, being aware of itself. It is life. It is that which infuses everything that we see, this miracle of creation that we see around us all of the time. The flowers, the mountains, the ocean, the clouds, the lightning, the thunder, the rain, every grain of sand on the beach, every cell in our bodies, the beating of our heart, the breathing of our lungs. Take a moment to feel into that essence, that divine power, and know that it is love. Know that it is here for you, for us, for everyone. And just enter into that sacred place of knowing that which already is, trusting that which cannot be known, but feeling it deeper than ever before. As we unify with this divine presence, with this essence, with this feeling, we feel it move through our bodies and ignite our souls. We feel it fill our hands so that we may do good work in the world. We feel it moving our feet so that we may take steps to greater and greater love. We feel it filling our heart and our minds to expand to infinite possibilities that bless ourselves, that bless God, that bless all of creation. And we know that in this spirit of goodness, in this spirit of love's devotion, that love is devoted to us. And with this knowing, we expand into the infinite nature of who we truly are and what love truly is. And we know that everything is possible because everything is God. So I'm just so grateful to know this truth and so grateful to hold it so personally, not only for me, but for every single person joined with us today, and honestly, every single person in the world. every single being in the world, including the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom and all things that vibrate with the energy of spirit, which is everything. Just so grateful for the capacity to see and embrace and transcend, to pause, to respect, to look a second time, to appreciate and to yearn for the greater yet to be. So grateful for God showing up as all of us. And I'm so grateful for this beautiful teaching, for this center where we hold each other and we hold this teaching so tenderly, willing to make mistakes, knowing that mistakes are part of perfection as well, willing to love ourselves in the process. And I bless all paths to God: churches, synagogues, temples, mosques, ashrams, fundamentalists, atheists, agnostics, all paths. And with a heart that is so filled with the blessedness, so filled with grace and glory and love, so filled with holiness, I'm just so very grateful. And in that gratitude, the only thing I can do is just release and allow Spirit to fill me with its laws and its purpose. And so I release these words into the divine mystery, standing ready to be shown what to do next. And together we say, and so it is. Amen.
Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you and the way you look tonight. Love me with that smile so warm and your cheeks so soft. There is nothing for me but to love you just the way you look tonight. With each word, your tenderness grows, tearing my fears apart. And that laugh that wrinkles your nose touches my foolish heart. You're so never change. Keep that breathless charm. Won't you please arrange it? 'Cause I love you just the way you look tonight. With each word, your tenderness grows, tearing my fears apart. And that laugh that wrinkles your nose touches my foolish heart. You're so never change. Keep that breathless charm. Won't you please arrange it? 'Cause I love you just the way you look tonight. Just the way you look tonight.
Thank you so much, Becca. Beautiful. And Chris, you too. All right, so I'm going to give us a few announcements. Today's flowers are dedicated to Brian Eller. Welcome back, Brian. That's great. Thank you. Brian Eller runs our video for us, and it's a godsend. Okay, so this third Wednesday, really? Is it the third Wednesday? Well, it's not the kindness meditation. There's no kindness this meditation. It's something else. It's diving deep into self-love. Oh, okay, it's creative arts meditation. So it's diving deep into self-love, and it's Wednesday, February 17th, and it's facilitated by Lita Martin, who's one of our practitioners, and you can find the link on how to get onto this meditation on our website, the Zoom link. Jennifer, one of our wonderful practitioners who's in ministerial school, is teaching the Essential Ernest Holmes class. This is really a great compilation of Ernest Holmes' writings. It's really, I think, one of his best books because it's put together really well. And this is on Tuesdays, and it starts March 9th. If you are planning on doing your best to enter the practitioner training coming up in September, you are going to need to have this class. So go ahead and sign up for that so we can get a good head count. The information on how to sign up is on our website classes page. There's a workshop coming up with Bernie Austin and Lita Martin, and this is body awareness and body wisdom. These two practitioners are just brilliant in terms of understanding body healing, and that's going to be on Saturday, March 5th, and that's on Zoom, and it's also priceless pricing. We are participating in helping folks get their vaccines. So if you go to our webpage, there's a COVID section along the top, and go ahead and click on that. And if you're having trouble navigating the vaccine system, there's a couple of people that you can call that will help you. It's Joan Bergstrand and Pam Kelly, and there's also lots of information about getting vaccines on there if you're struggling. I haven't done it yet because I'm just a mere child, you know. No, I'm 62, so I'm still not eligible yet, but I've heard from some folks that it's tricky, and other folks sail right through. So anyway, if you're one of the folks that is finding it difficult, do let us know and we'll help you. So the annual meeting is coming up. This is the meeting where we talk about how the church is doing, and I'm sure a lot of people are curious about that. That's like the first comment I get when I run into somebody in Target or the grocery store. How's the church doing? I won't go into details, but come and find out. We're actually doing pretty well. So that's Sunday, February 28th. It's on Zoom. This week, we're going to send out a link, an Eventbrite link, and you're going to need to sign up for it so we know who's attending, and so we know that we can get our quorum. We need to have a quorum of people there. So it's 2 p.m., right, Lonnie? 2 p.m. on February 28th, okay? There's an online silent auction coming soon, so start thinking of fun donation items. I'm giving an Instapot because I can't use that thing, so just, and I've never used it. Don't ask me why I know I can't use it. I just know from reading the instructions. So anyway, I'm giving an Instapot. So think of other things that you might want to give, things that we can auction and do a great fundraiser for the center. And then after the service, our beautiful practitioner who prayed today, Doreen, is standing by via Zoom room, and she's putting the link in the Facebook comments. And if you would like a prayer, this is a great day for a prayer. It's a day of love, a day of celebration. And if anything is troubling you, or if there's anything that you want to celebrate, be sure to click on that Zoom link and get a personal prayer from one of our trained practitioners. It'll make your whole day better. I think that's all I got. So I'm going to go ahead and pray us out, and then we will see you soon. Okay, let's go, Chris. Here we go. Okay, so turning within, I'm just so grateful for this time that we have spent together. It's been such a beautiful time of fellowship and fun and joy and service. All of the people that served in this sacred sanctuary, in this sacred gathering that extends beyond the wall of this church that is in cyberspace as well. Just everyone who tuned in, everyone that lent their consciousness to the healing of the world, to bringing more love and devotion to the world, we just bless you and give great abundance thanks for all of you. So grateful, so very grateful. And I know that this work that we have done here together today contributes to better lives for all of us that are touched by it, and all of the lives that we touch in turn. And so I'm grateful for that as well. and just so grateful for the energy of the spiritual center and what we teach here, and our earnest compassion and desire to be stewards of love and grace and goodness in the world. I'm just so grateful. And with that heart filled with gratitude, I say, thank you, Spirit, thank you, love, and I release these divine words into the divine mystery. And together we say, and so it is.